They didn't shout or say mean things. They just didn't invite me. It all started with a group text. I wasn't invited to a dinner. It was Mom's birthday on Saturday at Patterson Steakhouse, the nice one by the lake. Family only. I found out from my little brother, Ethan. He sent a text like it was no big deal. "Hey, just so you know, Mom's dinner this weekend is kind of just for close family. Hope that's okay." Close family. I stared at those words longer than I should. Have. I typed a message, then erased it. Typed again, erased again. Finally, I sent just one line. "Did you mean to leave me out?" He never replied. Instead, my sister Jenna did. 2 hours later. Jenna is 2 years younger than me. She lives in our hometown in Georgia. She's divorced with 2 boys and works part-time at the elementary school we both went to. Her message was short. "Let's not make this about you, Madison." That was it. I didn't answer back. Not because I didn't have things to say. I had plenty. But I didn't want to waste words on people who already thought I was too much, too different. I'm Madison Lane, 33 years old. I helped start Core Map, a tech company in Seattle. We make computer programs that help cities and companies save money, time, and fuel by planning better routes. In my work, people see me, hear me, and need me. But back home, I'm like a ghost. They only use my name when it suits them. So no, I didn't beg to be included, but I bought a plane ticket anyway, because silence that loud needs to be answered. I left Georgia when I was 21. I had no savings, just a laptop with a broken hinge, 2 suitcases, and a one-way ticket to Seattle. Dad didn't say goodbye. Mom packed me a sandwich, tuna on rye, but didn't write a note. I told myself that was enough. I rented a tiny apartment above a deli that opened early. I slept on a borrowed couch, waited tables, took night classes to learn data, and wrote. Computer code in bus stations and laundromats. For 3 years, I worked like rent was due yesterday, which it was, almost every day. Jenna stayed. She married a man named Kyle, a quiet, church-going guy with a strong chin and gentle smile. They had their first son when she was 25, then another 2 years later. I sent baby gifts. Jenna rarely said thanks, but Mom always did. Not like she really cared, just polite thanks. I tried to visit that Christmas, but they said the boys were sick and it wasn't a good time. By 28, I helped start Core Map with a former teacher and a truck driver I met through a friend. We built our first program using free public data and borrowed computers. It kept breaking, but when it worked, it was amazing. We saved one store $40,000 in fuel in just 3 months. That's when people started calling, investors, mayors, big shipping companies. We got noticed in newsletters, then bigger tech magazines. Back home, people still thought I just worked with computers. When people asked, Dad said, "She does something with maps and machines. It's a little over my head." Which it always was. When Jenna divorced Kyle, she almost lost her car. She didn't tell anyone except Mom quietly. On the phone one night, Mom told me, and I sent Jenna $8,000 that same evening. No one said thank you. Not officially, not in words, not even Jenna. But a month later, Jenna posted a picture on Facebook with the words, "Starting fresh 1 mile at a time. God is good." No tag, no message to me, but there was the car. Same license plate. Paid off. That's when I knew something had changed. Not in me, but in them. I wasn't kicked out exactly. I was just erased quietly, bit by bit. And the first one to press delete was the one I helped the most. Monday morning came like usual. Early, quiet, too much coffee. At Core Map, we start the week with a short meeting at 6:45 a.m. No nonsense, just clear goals. We work lean even. Now, especially now. After the meeting, Mara from HR stopped me by the elevator. "Your noon training has 5 new people. One is from Georgia, Nathan Wells." I paused. The name sounded familiar, like hearing a song I used to know but forgot. Then I remembered. Nathan was Jenna's boyfriend. The one who showed up in holiday photos last year wearing flannel and a quiet smile. The family said he was solid, sweet, safe. Safe guys are the ones they like back home. Mara gave me his folder. He was junior data analyst, studied civil engineering, and switched to systems modeling last year. 15 minutes later, I walked into the training room. 5 new faces, fresh haircuts, nervous. One of them flinched when I said, "Good morning, I'm Madison Lane, co-founder and COO. Welcome to Core Map." Nathan's jaw tightened. He held his pen in the air. He didn't speak for 30 minutes. When the others left to meet HR, he stayed. "Miss Lane, Madison," he said. "Madison's fine," I replied, almost smiling. "Unless you want to make training hard," I joked. He laughed nervously, hands in pockets. "I didn't know it was you. Jenna never said you run the company. She doesn't talk about me much." He nodded slowly. "I guess I didn't connect the dots. Is it weird that I'm here? Working for you, I mean." "Only if you make it weird," I said. That seemed to make him feel better. "Okay, cool. I really wanted this job. You all do amazing work." "Then focus on that," I said. "You'll be fine." He smiled. This time real, not fake. As he walked away, I felt something change, not in him, but in me. Someone from their world had come into mine, and for the first time, didn't look away. It was Thursday when Jenna posted on Facebook. Her page was public. No tags, just a picture of Mom smiling, cheeks pink, with gold balloons that said 60. The caption said, "Can't wait to celebrate this beautiful woman this Saturday. Family is everything." I looked at it longer than I wanted to. There were 38 comments in 1 hour. Cousins, church friends, old neighbors. So proud of her. All the sisters together again. Debbie's bringing the lemon cake. I scrolled through like I was watching a door close. No mention of me. Not even a quiet, "wish you were here." No one asked where the oldest daughter was. I wasn't forgotten. I was erased. There's a difference. Forgetting is by accident. Erasing is on purpose. Silence that cuts like a knife. I closed the app, put my phone down, and sat still. The kind of quiet that feels heavier than noise. Then I stood up, went to my closet, took out my navy suit, and ironed it myself. That night, I booked a flight, not to be mean or make a scene, but because I needed them to see me. Not my resume, not headlines. Me, the person I became, not the one they remembered. They didn't ask me to come, but this time, I wasn't going. To let my absence tell the story. Georgia smelled the same as always. Fresh cut grass, old pine trees, and air full of memories. I checked into a small hotel just outside town. No frills, no noise, just a clean bed, a working lamp, and silence I didn't have to earn. I answered a few messages, steamed my suit, and put an envelope on the nightstand. Plain white paper, no writing on the outside, just wait. Inside were 2 first-class tickets to Alaska. Mom once said she wanted to see the northern lights before her knees gave out. She said it 30 years ago, quietly, over a chipped mug and cheap tea. I remembered. Always remembered. Patterson Steakhouse hadn't changed since my high school graduation. Dinner. Same brown awning, same host with a pocket square, same piano music playing softly. I arrived just after 7. The hostess blinked when I gave my name, looked down at the list, then nodded and gently pointed. Back room, left side, private party. I heard the laughter first. Silverware tapping, glasses clinking. The uneven rhythm of people who hadn't thought about who might be missing. Then I stepped inside. Mom sat in the middle of a long table, glowing, in royal blue, surrounded by cousins, neighbors, old friends. Her smile looked like she earned it. Dad sat next to her, arms crossed, like a man posing for a photo. Jenna sat on Mom's left, her boys fidgeting, cheeks pink from sugar. And at the far end, near the window, Nathan, quiet, watching. The room didn't stop all at once. It stopped in pieces. One cousin glanced up, and uncle froze mid-bite. The chatter faded until only a tense quiet was left. Then came the voice I expected. Louder than needed, and just like him. "Well," Dad said with a half smile, "who decided to join us?" I didn't answer, didn't even look at him. Instead, I walked to Mom, calm and steady. I leaned down and placed the envelope gently in front of her. "Happy birthday, Mom," I said. "I hope it's as beautiful as you are." She looked confused, like my being there was a surprise. Her hands hovered over the envelope, careful, like it might disappear. When she opened it, her fingers shook. Her breath caught. The silence got heavier. She looked up at me, eyes wide, mouth opening to ask something, but no words came. Just one word slipped out. "Alaska." I nodded. "You once said you never went. I thought it was time." She swallowed hard. Tears filled her eyes, but didn't fall. Her hand reached out, not to grab, but to hold on. From across the table, Dad sighed, a sound he makes when he's uncomfortable but wants control. "Still love making an entrance, don't you?" he said. "Always have to make it your show." His words didn't hurt. Not this time, because the room wasn't only looking at him anymore. The silence didn't break. It shifted. Not like glass breaking, but like heat-bending air. Uneasy, visible, hard to explain. Mom held the envelope like it might slip away. Her lips parted, but no words came yet. Across the table, Jenna's fork sat still on her plate, untouched. Since I walked in, her boys squirmed, knowing something the adults wouldn't say. Nathan sat quietly at the far end, his hand wrapped tight around his water glass, knuckles pale. He was watching me, not shocked or confused, just waiting. Dad stayed calm, took a sip of wine, cleared his throat like he was about to make a toast. "Nice gesture," he muttered. "Still prefer postcards myself." It was the kind of joke that used to get a polite laugh. This time, no one moved. Then Nathan stood up, not sudden or angry, just calm. He fixed his collar and looked Dad in the eyes. "She didn't make this about herself," he said, voice steady. "You did." Dad blinked. A cousin leaned forward a little. Nathan didn't look away. "That's Madison Lane," he said, co-founder and COO of Core Map, one of the fastest growing AI logistics companies on the West Coast. She's not just impressive, she's respected. She's fair, and she's the reason I took this job. Every head turned. Some to me, some to Jenna, whose face went a little paler. Nathan looked at Jenna, then back to the room. I applied months ago, before I even connected the name. When I realized who she was, I was proud. I still am. The silence changed again. This time, it leaned in. He talked about family like it never changes. But real family grows, learns, includes. Madison didn't walk away. You pushed her out. And even then, she built something the rest of us now use, including me. He sat down. No applause, no cheering, just the weight of his words settling in the room like dust in sunlight. I looked at Mom. Her eyes never left me. Her hands still held the envelope like it was a lifeline. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. I turned to Jenna. She didn't look at me. She stared at her water glass, lips tight, jaw clenched. Her boys didn't ask what was happening. They already knew. Dad stayed still. Not stiff, not angry, just quiet. For the first time in my life, I saw him without his walls. No act, no sarcasm to hide behind. Just a man staring at something he had spent years pretending wasn't there. I grabbed my bag and stood up. "I won't stay long," I said softly to my mother. "I just wanted to see you smile." She reached out, squeezed my hand with both hers. "You did," she whispered. As I turned to leave, my heels clicked against the tile. Not loud, but clear. No one followed. No one called my name. And that was fine, because this time I wasn't leaving in silence. I was leaving seen. That night, I didn't cry. I took off my heels, ordered grilled salmon from room service, and opened my laptop. The Q2 forecast was steady. Our new routing. Models were beating expectations. 2 municipal contracts had just cleared legal. On paper, everything looked fine. At 9:40 p.m., the hotel phone rang. The front desk clerk said a woman was asking for me. Said her name softly. My mother. She arrived holding a plastic container wrapped in a dish towel. Inside, lemon squares, uneven edges, cracked sugar tops, soft and sweet. Utterly hers. She lingered by the door, unsure if she was allowed in. I let her. She looked around the room like she was seeing a part of me for the first time. Said something quiet about how I always liked clean spaces. I said she always liked sugar. We both smiled. Not wide, not warm, just enough. We didn't mention the dinner. Not yet. Instead, we talked about Alaska. I described the cruise. Small, quiet, built for watching the sky instead of shopping. She asked more questions than I expected, about the company, my team, my work. She wasn't just filling space, she was trying. Eventually, her hands folded in her lap. Her voice dropped. She said she hadn't realized how much I'd been carrying all these years. I told her no one had asked. She nodded. Not to argue, just to accept. Said they'd tried to keep me small because it made me easier to understand. She called that a mistake. I didn't rush to forgive, but I didn't push her away either. She asked if she could visit Seattle sometime. I said yes. 4 days later, my phone buzzed. Jenna's name. I hesitated, then answered. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. Said she wasn't sure why she called, or maybe she did. Nathan had told her everything. Not just what he said at the party, but how he described me afterward. How I carried myself, led, showed grace under fire. It shook her. She admitted she'd never thought of me as strong, just stubborn. Said my leaving had always felt like abandonment, but now wondered if it had been survival. I let her speak. Let silence fill the space between her realizations. She told me she used to resent me for changing while she stayed still. It made her feel small. I told her she wasn't small, just still becoming. She exhaled, like letting go of something she didn't know she was holding. Said Mom wanted to visit me. Then added softly, maybe she did too. I said they were both. Welcome. Right before she hung up, her voice caught. She said she was proud of me. Not just for succeeding, but for never making her feel less, even when she tried to make me invisible. When I returned to Seattle that Friday, the hotel had left an envelope for me at the front desk. No return address, just my name in my father's handwriting. Firm, exact, unmistakable. Inside was a single page. He wrote that I turned out different than he expected. Maybe even better. Said he didn't know how to apologize for underestimating me. Maybe he didn't deserve to. But Mom told him I was building something real. He said he believed her, and then this. You always had that stubbornness. I mistook it for rebellion. Turns out it was vision, no signature, no warmth, but no denial. And for a man like him, maybe that was all he could give. Maybe that was enough. That summer, I bought my first home in Marin County, at the edge of the redwoods, sunlit and quiet, overlooking a curve of the bay where water turns silver at dusk. The floors creaked in the right places. The air smelled like eucalyptus and salt. It wasn't grand. It was enough. On move-in day, the team surprised me with a gift, a framed canvas print, deep blue with white lettering. A quote I'd said once during a late-night planning session. Half laughing, half exhausted. Build so well they can't look away. It hangs above my desk now. Just beneath it, in a smaller frame, A yellow post-it note, curled at the edges, ink smudged at the corner, written in Nathan's careful handwriting, 4 words. She's my boss. I never asked who saved it. I just knew it mattered. Not because it proved anything, but because it came from someone who'd been on the other side of the story and chose to speak up. The real story wasn't that I showed up. It's that I stayed steady long enough for the silence to collapse. On its own. I didn't need to shout. Didn't need to reclaim a seat at the table. I built a better one and left the door unlocked. 5 years later, when Mom turned 65, we celebrated on my patio. String lights, soft jazz. Jenna brought the cake. Nathan ran the slideshow. My father sat in the corner, quiet but present, watching. As the evening faded into dusk, he approached me, hands in pockets, eyes soft, something between memory and apology. He didn't say much, just handed me an old photo. Me at age 10, building a company out of shoeboxes and tape. Smart moves inked in red marker. On the back, he'd written, "Turns out you always knew." We stood there a while, not as enemies, not quite as family, just as people finally seeing each other. I didn't come back for forgiveness. I came back so no one could say I disappeared. Not again. I didn't need to be welcomed back. I just needed the truth to stay in the room after I left. Have you ever returned? Not for forgiveness, but to prove you never left? If this spoke to something you've held in for years, leave 1 word below. I'll understand.